I know early voting is already over with. And I know there's probably around 100,000 Republicans in my U.S. Congress District 7. Wouldn't it be great if 90% of you voted for me because you're tired of the bureaucracy controlling your life? It would be a landslide. Corrigan Vaughn only beat me by 900 votes in the last primary because I kept my mouth shut about him. This time, I'm talking a lot about him, that you never see him with a girl. Now he's got, the first pictures I saw on the internet, he has two white girls, young enough to be his daughter. They look like teenagers. And then later on, a couple days later, he had black girls that look like teenagers hanging on him like he was doing it. As soon as I mentioned, I never saw him with a woman. I've never been married as far as I know. No children. And LLCs, he says he owns, manages, or CEO of, doesn't exist if you check the state records. How big a fraud can he be? He's been running since the early 90s. He's changed parties a few times. But Mr. Newton has been running since the 90s too. But I talked to him about an hour a couple of times, and he seems like an honest man. His wife goes with him most of the places. He seems like a good family man. But he's been running 10 years longer than me too. And according to a couple websites, he's changed parties once for one election that he lost. As far as I can see, he ain't won a primary yet. Just like Corrigan Vaughn up until he beat me by 900 votes in 14. How can you vote for Corrigan Vaughn? I'm a child abuser though. And now I'm mentally ill too. I admit being mentally ill, because all my friends tell me I'm mentally ill. The first months when they condemned my home and told me I could never do anything with this home, it was going to be gone soon, because he didn't want it here, I should have walked away. I guess the military brainwashed me, and so much of the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, that I was going to Vietnam to fight for the Vietnamese people these rights, and then come home and have to fight 41 years in my home, and now I have nothing because the court seized everything. I can't sell anything. My wife's teeth is still rotting out. $8,000-$10,000. I can't sell anything to fix her teeth to save her life a little longer. I'm not even allowed. I'm committing a felony because I don't have permission of the court to be taking care of my wife. It's against state law for a felon to be around a sick person. So I'm committing a felony 24 hours a day being around my wife. The first felony that I don't give a damn I'm committing. Because I've been with her for 46 years through a lot of bad times. We've had a lot of rough times, but somehow we stuck together. And it's my responsibility as her husband of 46 years to make sure she has as much comfort as possible on her last days on this earth. The court can kick me out of my home anytime they want, take away the vehicles anytime they want, because everything's half my wife's, so they seized everything. I moved my bank accounts a couple of times because they basically locked me out of the bank accounts, which has my VA check and my Social Security check, to stop me from having any money. They threw me in a mental institution because I told them to go to hell. They can't take my wife away. I sit here and cry sometimes next to my wife because I don't know how to help her anymore. I can't get any assets. I can't touch anything. And to hell with my 3 kids. The only one I might leave anything to is Christina, because she does come over and help sometimes. And she lived with us up until she was almost 30 before she moved out and bought her own house, and then at 33 she got married. So, I don't know what to do in life anymore. I gotta keep fighting. But without all your votes and support and pep talks, which I've been getting a lot of lately by voters, they said they voted for me, keep up the fight. We have to tear down this government and rebuild it according to our founding fathers' wishes of our Constitution and Bill of Rights. That keeps me going. Nothing else will. Thank you.